Docky! Doc! Doc! Doc. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you don't remember me. I'm on the 3rd floor. Remember? 3rd room down the hall. Though at this point you might as well call it the Murphy Suite. I mean, who else could take my place there? Especially with my condition the way it is. I'm so weak and sallow, you know. And the headaches that plague me might as well be crippling spells of delusionary madness with how often they overtake my fickle and sickly body. Not to mention the sores and the bruises and the aches and the pains. They fill me with such agony, you know. Such an agony that can't be cured with a simple aspirin or day of rest. I crave care. And I crave your care most of all. There's just a way you do it that just screams sincerity to me. This isn't just a job that you clock into, a physical, mental, and emotional labor you do for the big paychecks or prestige. This is a passion of yours. Caring is a passion of yours. Maybe it's the only one you've figured out how to do well. Maybe it's the only thing you're really good at, and everything else required of you came later. It's all the same to me, but you're different. And I can match your passion in the kinds of ways nobody else ever could. Especially with my health the way it is. I mean, you're the perfect doctor. Passionate about your career and kind in all things. And as long as it's you, I'm the perfect patient. Eager as ever to be under your care and do whatever it takes to help you do your job right. I mean, how do you think I even got in here? It's not like the ditzy nurses are actually going to do their job and accept their subservient position beneath you as a true doctor, as they should. Look, I know today's my discharge day. I know that you think that my lungs and reflexes and blood and skin are in perfect working order with no disastrous health implications that would require your professional consultation, and I'm not allowed to report on a relapse in any of those for the next 90 days unless consulted by a lesser doctor as per the agreement we have established. But that's only because my problem isn't with my lungs or my reflexes or my blood or my skin. Don't you know? It's my heart. Now, making assumptions about my condition without even looking over the paperwork? And I thought you were a professional, Docky. Unless your first inclination really is to know that the only thing that could cure me is your constant and consistent love and care. And if that really is your professional opinion, then who am I to deny it? Oh, I wish it was something as cute as this sickness that can only befall a wanting heart, torn asunder by its distance from its similar. But tragically, it's not something so easily mended, you know. Not something that can be cured with a kiss. But if you happen to be offering, according to the test I've personally run on myself, I seem to have a slight case of arrhythmia, particularly tachycardia, an irregular heartbeat, specifically one that runs a little too fast. The symptoms are sometimes non-existent, but when they are present, they frequently appear as fluttering feelings in the chest, occasional pain and dizziness, and fainting. All symptoms of being in love. I'm sure you're aware. But I have reason to believe that this is a comorbid condition, one that might even be considered contagious, depending on the person. Now, I know I'm supposed to leave, but would you really be fulfilling your job as a medical professional, my medical professional, if you were to abandon me at such a time of need? Arrhythmia may not be a serious condition, but without treatment, it can blossom into a myriad of other conditions. As is, the fact I'm experiencing arrhythmia at all could be a sign of something like thyroid disease or obstructed sleep apnea. And isn't that worth looking into? Heart arrhythmias are also associated with an increased risk of blood clots. I'm sure you know if a clot breaks loose, it can travel from the heart to the brain and cause a stroke. But heart failure and sudden death are also on the table. How can 6 tests really be wrong? I know you say that I need to leave today and leave soon. I know you think I'm being irrational. I know how this goes. I know the dance we waltz together, hand in gloved hand, doomed to never truly feel the skin. You're a good doctor. Not just good at your job, but good in general. You're kind and you're passionate, and you treat patients with the same kind of love you'd lend somebody like yourself. It would be so easy to take advantage of having a sicker person at your mercy. Somebody who's so dependent on you for every little thing. Somebody whose little life might be in your hands. I tremble at the thought of being completely and totally subsumed in such a way. Don't you know everything would be so much easier if you simply inflicted the will you know you possess on me? And yet you don't. Because you're a good doctor. And you're too much of a good doctor to send me away. Because even if you think I'm pathetic for all my attachments, the way I cling to your side and writhe at the thought of you inflicting the things on me you know I deserve, you'd never send me away. Not with a chance that I'm telling the truth. Not at the thought that at least one of the 6 tests I ran might be right. Not at the thought of my blood on your hands, especially when I had been so kind as to warn you before the carnage began to truly spill. It's only a natural aspect of your profession that your hands get slicked with the stuff. I wonder how long it will take for it to finally reach past the latex into the skin underneath. It must reach you with how passionate you are as is, and yet still so hopeful, still so bright. It makes me love the love that sleeps inside of you. It's a disease in its own right. Because what is your passion if not just a simple love for all, if I cannot simply claim that love as my own just yet? You are far more noble than I can't deny that. But it's the best kind that there is. You cannot blame me for wanting the best for myself. That's why I'm here. The best love and the best care that only the best of the field could provide. But I hope that one day I can make you selfish too. As selfish as I am, and selfish enough to want to care and be cared for and kind. Love can never be work for as long as you do it right. But being loved all the while must make the burden all the easier, right? Now, I think you'd better take me to one of your offices. Just for a quick checkup. Maybe to double-check my results against those you trust. And who would I be to deny you as the ultimate authority, if I am otherwise so willing to submit myself to you in all my frailties? Though, I have to warn you ahead of time, as I am so prone to do, that my headspace is particularly vulnerable at a time like this, on the verge of figuring out results that could fundamentally change how I live my life, or even how much of it I have left to live with a simple test. I might be escalating a tad with how severely these results could impact me, but the headspace this might leave me in afterwards. Gosh. It could lead to something very reckless that you'd have the potential to end up very responsible for. The fragile tightrope walk between responsibility and blame must be a delicate one to walk. But luckily for you, I wouldn't know.